Morning, morning, morning. How you doing, brother Joshua? Appreciate you. Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about finances. God had placed it on my heart to talk about finances because a lot of us don't fully trust God with our finances. We panic, we frantic because the numbers don't match what our prayers are asking for. And I've been there, currently there right now, but I learned something today, and I want to share that with y'all. I learned to fully trust God in my finances, with my finances, and I'm gonna tell you how I did this by praying and really trusting and believing. See, without faith, work is dead, right? So if you are good at something and you have the resources, maybe not have the resources, but if you have something, some type of skill, God will set up a connection. He will set things up for the little that you have to, work towards that. But you have to work on your stewardship. You have to work on learning how to, manage your money. So I'm gonna teach y'all today how to really manage your money. See, sometimes we have to separate survival mode to sacrifice. Sacrificing is doing away with a lot of things, subscriptions, not only just subscriptions, things that we like to have. Sometimes we have to make that sacrifice. We may want, brand, but branded food, but sometimes you got to get that the generic, that not branded food so you can, build up that finance that you need. And it's hard though. It's difficult at first, but you're training your mind to say, I don't really need that. See, that's the same way with us. We are wanting something, but we don't know how to fast. See, we say we're gonna fast a water fast, a diet fast, whatever type of fast you're doing, only, plant-based fast. And you struggle because the first 3 days is going to feel difficult because your mind you training your mind is getting disciplined because now once you break that that covenant of just eating bad habits and you know just getting away from all that what your mind is used to, that thought pattern that your mind used to. You like snacks, you like to eat fast food, you like all these things. But once you learn how to actually break away from it, this is going to create a new environment. And some people are actually, visuals. So you need to start writing things down like, okay, I get paid this week. I'm going to try to say this. No, don't say try, do it, because you're going to say you're trying because you want to go eat those things. You want to go out with friends. You want to party. You want to, take you a ride. Not saying any of that's wrong, but what I'm saying is if you know you on an assignment and you're trying to build your finances up and you're tired of, living in poverty, and not only poverty, but you're tired of just living from check to check, you got to learn how to save. It starts somewhere. You have to learn how to put money to the side. And for it's hard because of you struggling with a little bit because once you already capped out for the month, you paying your rent, you paying your card note, you paying your insurance, and you trying to create that space. The only way you're gonna create that space, like I'm telling you, is sacrifice. I know a lot of people gonna come on here and say I don't have the time to do this. We make time for what we want to make time for. And sometimes it might not require you to go outside your home. You can do it on your computer. You can find something that you're good at. Sometimes they don't require, but if you're a person that's required, you can do DoorDash, you can do Uber Eats, you can do so many things. But we shadow away from that because we're looking for validation from other people instead of looking for validation from God. So today I encourage y'all to sit down, take you some time, and really sort through your resources and your finances, because this is going to help you. You're going to break past that limitation only if you continue to just stop saying I'm in survival mode and start saying I'm making sacrifices. It's going to change that longevity of how you see things. So today, that's what it's going to create. That's why I talk about in Faith Talks University. I just want to share that with y'all because a lot of people are looking at it as, oh, Faith Talk, that's just about sermon. No, this is for our everyday lives where we need structure and somebody to actually hold you accountable for it. So that's why I created the Faith Talk University, the community. It's to help build because I learned that because coming from a family that does, really doesn't teach finances, credit, or nothing like that, I had to learn on my own, and it was hard. So I want to teach people now what the things that I learned and that actually working. So I'm not only just a spiritual person, I'm a person that's all about becoming better, learning things that I lacked through my, my early 20s, and now I'm in my 30s. And I want to help younger people, even older people. So today we're gonna stray away. We're getting away from survival mode. Going forward in 2026, we're making a sacrifice. But we're making a sacrifice and with God on our side, and we're gonna get very disciplined by fasting. We're gonna fast. We're gonna fast together. We're gonna every morning, the things that you love, you're gonna, move away and make set a time for talking to God. I'm gonna come on here at 10:30 every day. We're gonna pray. We're gonna talk about things. You can ask me questions. We're gonna do all this because people that stays together prays together. Not only prays together, God sees our heart. He knows the heart of the wicked. He knows the heart of the sinners. He knows all these things. But we need to break these patterns. We have to break these strongholds. And we wonder why we set at a cap for our finances not to grow. Because it's something that our mind is consumed on. It's something that we have to break free from. So we're gonna break free from these things starting today. Type amen if you agree in the comments. But I like to know how all y'all been, how your morning going, how you feeling. I hope you're feeling very nice. I hope you're feeling good, and I pray this is a confirmation to somebody. We're gonna start this fast tomorrow on Worship Wednesday. We're gonna start 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna start, but I want to know what it is for some of y'all, where y'all feel like y'all been in survival mode too long. Yes, we all need a financial blessing, even me. But I still keep going because I know he gave me a talent. He gave me a skill, not just for my purpose, but he sees our struggles, he sees our finances, but he just wants us to be a faithful. We have to be faithful. You can't say, "Oh, I trust God," and trying to fix matters on your own. Yes, we need money, we need jobs, we need all these things, but most need to make sure that we all understand that we need God more than anything. Yes, warfare, you got to learn how to prepare yourself because that's going to come. That's part of life. But when you actually are rooted into, your faith into Jesus Christ, you're not going to be shaken. You're not going to be shaken at all. Yeah, that's a big loss, but we're not gonna just stay in that because the more you tell yourself, the more you're gonna stay in that cycle. So you're gonna have to break free from that cycle. This is why I'm saying we're gonna have to, actually do this fast. This fast break all, a lot of things. It's gonna get your awareness sharp, and it's going to sharpen your character. It's not only going to sharpen your character, it's going to give you the ability to have the discernment to say, okay, just because I may be in this environment right now doesn't mean I have to stay stuck there. So God is a God of, restoration, restoring, he building, but he also wants us to learn something. So he's teaching you something that's very valuable that you can use in the rest of your life. See, we are sitting there and asking God how to help out of it. This is your navigator. He's going to navigate you through those things, but you have to hold high, minimizing the things that you want and say, okay, God, I give you full control. You see what I'm talking about? We all want to say, let me see. I'm putting a comment up, a word up, a question. Like, who's in survival So that's why I want to ask y'all, a lot of us, we tend to say things and we get frustrated because God is not acting the way that we want to, that we want him to. Yes, we have to fight, but the way we've been fighting is all wrong because we'll pray, then we go back out there and try to handle what God said he already handled. See, that's the difference. We can have focus, but your focus is hyper attention, hyper attentive on things that don't even matter to you. It shouldn't matter to you. For instance, for illustration, we'll focus on things of a comparison, like, okay, what's she doing or what he doing that I'm not doing? See, your focus is there, but it's not focused on, okay, God, you revealed this to me. Now let me pay attention to this. Not focusing on what everybody else got. Just because got a nice car, you don't know what's behind the scene to their finances. We only see on the outside. We don't see what's going on in the inside. So you have to understand you can fight, but it's how we go about fighting. You can fight God and get frustrated with God. You have to fight whatever the demons that you're fighting inside, what you haven't let go from your past. This is all referring to what's going to take effect when you start this fast with me. This fast is going to help us to see, it's going to reveal the areas that we've been ignoring and haven't tried to work on. And then we get frustrated when we don't see a blessing, that we don't see, the provision, because it's things of this nature of this fleshly world that we continue to be consumed by. But God said, do not be conformed to this pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So it's time for us to have this renewal of our mindset because we see these things every day and we don't even see it anymore because we so numb to it because it's a new norm. Like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. And then when your spirit is wrestling with your flesh, it shouldn't be wrestling with your flesh. But somehow we let it wrestle with our flesh because the things of we seeing like poverty, these bills keep popping up. We see these nice things, our car giving us trouble. It's so many things take us away from actually seeing what God is wanting to do inside of us. So this is why I just want to come on here and just share that with y'all. A lot of us really been in survival mode for too long, entirely too long, and it's getting the best of us. It making us, you know, feel like we don't have faith, we don't believe no more. That's what the enemy does. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy and distract. He'll distract us. Yeah, I seen that a lot. That's why I'm saying it takes away. So when we see these things, we not praying as a community. We not standing in unity. We all divided. And that's what the enemy wants to do. He wants division. He creates division. But us as a community, as I was praying today, I said, God, look, I trust you in my finances, but I also want you to do what you want me to do. And he spoke to me. He was like, look, you have a community. Help them. And that's what I want to do. I want to continue to help us as a community. And if you feel like that people, hold on, let me read your comment. I don't know what the fighting, but people, and I'm sorry you're going through that, but sometimes you can't sit in it. You can't sit in there because if you sit in that, you always going to relapse. You're going to relapse. I don't care how long it is. You have to heal from it, and it takes time to heal. But you have to be the bigger person and say that's maturity. I'm not going to hold and put myself in contempt because they did those things to me. You have to know that that's not the person that you are anymore. You're moving on to become better. So don't let that rob you of today. And that's cool. We all think out of fear because God is not going to hold you accountable for that because he know you're a human. But once you bring it to him and say, God didn't give me a spirit of fear. He gave me a spirit of love and a sound mind. So it goes back to scripture. This is what I was talking about yesterday. We read scriptures, but we forget to how to actually apply it to our life. Like I said, instructions increase what you know, but application it changes who you are. See, the devil messes with people, and we have to be stronger. That's your fighting, that's your fighting where you can actually say scripture and mean it, and he's gonna flee from you. But if you don't have a strong word or a strong weapon, you fall victim to it every time. We all fall victim to these things because somehow we are staying our head. This is why I was talking about this today. I didn't come on YouTube and talk about this, but you're poison. When you start to overthink, you're poisoning yourself by fear, doubt, uh, failure. You're doing all that stuff instead of, saying, okay, I'm going to take control, ask God to, clear my mind. You know, I empty these thoughts to Him because I no longer want to carry it. I don't want to continue to think about it. The longer you think about it, you start dreaming about it. That's where your conscious and your subconscious starts to battle. Silence is what they get from me. Yeah, we all say this. No reaction is the best reaction. No response is the best response. Sometimes you have to deal away from it. You don't have to overly express yourself to somebody that's not going to fully understand you. That's not the plan. They plan is to distract and destroy. That's what the devil send them on an assignment for, to distract and to destroy. They want to steal your peace. This peace and this joy that nobody should be able to steal because God has gave you that peace that surpasses all your understanding. Yeah, don't let the enemy try to let somebody talk about you. Let that you know what's true and what's not true. So don't let that get to you. By you letting that get to you, it's going to affect what you about to do. It's affecting what you want to do. The little that you have, now you over there giving yourself a pity party. I don't know. I'm a good person. You explaining yourself. Yes, they get better. I'm not the person to tell you, okay, I know the date and the time when it's going to get better. All I know is you put your faith and your trust in God and Jesus Christ, and you accept Jesus Christ into your heart. That's a love that no other love can compare. Even when you feel like life is not fair, you're going to know that you have that type of love in your heart. No matter what people do to you, no matter how wrong they do to you, you know that God got you. You know Jesus love you. And when you know those things, watch how your life change. You really have to believe it because that's the catch. A lot of people say, "Okay, I know God. I know He loves me." But do you love yourself enough to say, "I'm not going to put myself through this"? That's the questions that you need to ask yourself. Yes, discernment expose fake people, counterfeit. It exposes a lot of things. But we have to be the sacrifice to understand. We don't lean to our understanding. We trust God to give us and reveal to who is for us and what's against us. That's how you get discernment when you're really exercising your faith daily. You're not going through life without God. A lot of us wake up, we don't pray, we don't read the Bible, but we'll turn on the news, we grab our phone and see what gossip we can talk about or who doing bad and be judgmental. We do it a lot, but that's our sinful nature. But stepping away from that, stepping aside of that, when you're in the spiritual realm, when you actually focus on, bettering yourself, you don't have time for those things because now what your used to be daily routine is not of you anymore because you let God cleanse you. You see what I'm talking about? So we have to trust God in all the areas of our life, not just one specific thing. Is we trust Him or we trust in our timeline. No in between. And I trust God with my timeline.